Hey, gun people. This is a pretty good little entry. The cops end up shooting their guns. You don't see the bad guy get shot, or there's no blood or gore. But I'm going to talk about some of the procedures and the way the cops are controlling this. Their standing, their stack, etc. So I'm just going to go over this kind of with tactics a little bit and kind of look at it and explain some things that I see. Point out some things that you may or may not notice. Probably miss a few things that other people can bring up in the comments. Keep the comments constructive. I'm really tired of the whiners and criers in the comments. If you can't be constructive, I'm just going to block you. So unless you want to continue to comment or you don't care, then make your little comments and I'll block you. But I'm telling you, if the comments aren't constructive to the video and they aren't just stating facts and they get any type of personal or BS or ignorance, then I'm going to block you and you're not going to comment. I'm just tired of reading all the nasty crap. So let's take a look at this video.
Lock yourself down. Do it now.
Okay. Lock yourself down. Do it now. They're entering a hospital. I think it was an active shooter. Let me see if it says on it. Okay, it happened in Huntsville. Was it North Carolina? Yeah, North Carolina. Evidently, a guy fired some rounds off in a hospital. He did not shoot anybody, and he did not injure anybody. So, is this an EDP, that emotionally disturbed person we talk about? Why is he bringing a gun in there and firing it around and not really shooting at anybody? Does he want to be suicide by cop? But when the cops show up, they start ordering people to lock yourself down. Look, people, when you're in a building and somebody's got a gun and a cop comes in and starts ordering you to do things that is against your instincts or against your safety, you need to do what you need to do. I am not locking myself in a building with a bunch of cops coming in with guns looking for a guy with a gun when I can walk out the same door that the cops came in. Hell no. I'm leaving that freaking building. I'm getting in my car. I'm getting to where I can get a gun. Hospital's no gun zone. I'm getting the hell out of there. I am not locking myself in there because some shaved head, bald-headed cop comes in and orders me, lock down right now. I'm telling you, lock down. The way he talks to these citizens.
Lock yourself down. Do it now.
Do it now. What are you going to do? Arrest me? Is there a crime for not locking down? I mean, a cop isn't going to break formation and go argue with you. Do not get bullied into jeopardizing your safety by bad commands. I mean, if I was coming in here, I understand they want to control. They're trying to identify. The guys on like the 3rd or 4th floor, they know they got to go to the elevator. To start ordering people on the 1st floor when they could just as easily walk out, get in their car, and leave, I ain't staying, and I ain't locking down, but that's just me.
I need you to lock yourself, get into a room.
Care what you need. You're running around here with a gun and no guns on. I'm sitting here like a sitting duck. Now, I'm a little iffy on using elevators. I didn't have to respond to a lot of calls to where there's buildings on higher floors and had to use elevators. Even when I go in a building with an elevator, you know, if it's only 8 stories or so, I'm taking the stairs. It gets my heart rate up. It gives me some exercise, and I don't like feeling trapped in an elevator, especially on a high-risk call. You get in there with 3 or 4 guns, you've created a fatal funnel. All you cops have to leave through that elevator door. Anybody who wants you, all they have to do is be waiting for the elevator to open, and they can take you out like sitting ducks when you walk out of an elevator. So I'm not a big elevator guy. I know there's going to be some people, well, Rick, you got to keep the team together, and some people may not want, and you want to be fresh, and you don't want to be tired when you get there, and you don't, you know what? Personally, I'm not an elevator guy. It's a trap. I'm taking away my escape routes. I'm taking away my ability to take cover. I'm taking away my ability to create distance. I am trapping myself in a small container, and I just don't tactically think that's sound or good. I know somebody's going to come here and say, well, the cops did it and you don't know and they can't. Whatever, people. I'm giving my opinion. Take it or leave it, or comment like an idiot and get blocked. And for the idiots that come here, oh, you're blocking, so you're censoring, you're going to get blocked too. I'm done with the comments on the crap.
Hey, let me know if you got me. Security guy just said he's upstairs.
Okay, so we're all in the elevator, we're all trapped, and we all got one way to get out, and we all have to go out the one door. Not a fan.
We find this dude, we throw him out. You're the only one that's going to go hands-on with him because he's got a right my guy. This is the real deal, dude. Buckle up, man.
Okay, this is the real dude. Real deal, dude. As compared to traffic stops, domestic violence, which isn't the real deal. This is just kind of a pep. I'm just kind of giving him shit. But I don't think that comment was necessary, but the guy's a little nervous. He's communicating. He's trying to talk. You know, if you've ever sat in a SWAT van, or when we're going out to do a search warrant and you're sitting in a van, the things that we kind of comment and talk about, people would probably be offended. But you know what? It's a little bit of nervous anxiety talk. It's not the end of the world. I'm just kind of cracking on him. Well, if they don't know where the bad guy's at, and they don't, because they're asking people, and they walk out of an elevator, I would have had the guy with the shield first. I would have been stacked up, and I would have been perceiving a more dangerous threat. The way they kind of pile out of this elevator, I don't see that they really perceive a threat. And I talk about that when cops talk about, and they're doing reports, and when they use force, their actions say they weren't scared, but their reports always say I was in fear of my life. But when you look at their actions, especially from a tactical standpoint, you guys weren't really worried about running anybody out this door, because the way you kind of walked out was pretty nonchalant, open, no clearing, no slicing a pie, no tactical entry into an unknown hallway that could have contained an armed suspect. I didn't see any of that. That's me.
Where are you? Where?
Again, if you're looking for a guy with a gun, you're walking in the middle of the highway and you're announcing where you're at and you're asking, where are they, or where are they? You're giving away your position. Now, I know somebody's going to come here and probably want to be like, well, Rick, don't you say when you're clearing a house, you should always say cops coming in? You do. When you're clearing a house and you're looking for, you want people to identify themselves so they don't get accidentally shot, you want to make sure they know you're the police. When you're entering on a suspect that's armed and could be barricaded and already shot, you don't want to start talking and giving away your position. So, you know, situations, totality of circumstance, each situation will dictate a little bit different response.
Where are they? Other side?
Again, where is the fear? He's running around with a thing. They're not stacked. He's leaving the group. This guy seems like he's Mr. Control, but he's almost kind of the guy that's most out of control. And it's not because he's got a shaved head or bald. Maybe it is. Rick, why are you? Oh, shut up, you big dummy. Look, he kind of runs off and leaves the team here. You want to keep your team intact. He's got the shield. They should be Congo line behind him and lined up, or a stack, whatever you want to call it. But the team ought to be together. If this guy takes fire right now or has to return fire, these two other officers cannot help him. They're going to have to take time to either go to him, take cover, pick a different route. They've separated their forces. To me, not tactically sound. So, two cops on scene, two quota hires I might have, on scene already. So, why are their guns out? Why are you know, that would explain why they were acting non-fearful. They thought they were going to a secure location. So, the things that I said before, because I have new information now, it changes. That kind of explains to me why they weren't stacking and being tactical and clearing corners. It appears that they know the guy's locked down in this area, and they're going to, and I don't know if these guys are security or cops. If they're cops, I wonder why they're not going in. They're probably waiting for the long gun and the shield. Maybe. I don't know what the policy is. Maybe they called for a shield. Again, there's always a lot more that we don't know.
Hey, hold that corner right there. He's right on this station up. 2250 on that room up there.
Okay, going tactically here, I don't know if he went to safe, if he's on safe, or he went to fire. His thumb's right there by the selector lever to go to safe for fire. My problem is with a long gun, if he shoots, he's going to blow the guy in front of him's ear out because he's got his barrel almost parallel with this guy's head a few times. And it happens a lot when you're doing close entries and you're moving close. But let me tell you, when that gun goes off, your ears are ringing. It's distracting. You're going to get burns from unburnt powder. You may hear the casing bounce down your shirt and burn you. It's a lot of distractions. Should you not, fire because you don't want to mess up the guy? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying those are things when you work on a live hot round and you see it happen, you need to either consider it, or the more tactical you are, the more you keep your distance, the more you don't set your partner up to fail because your partner could save your life. So, a couple observations.
6203. I need everybody to stay off the air for a second.
Okay, so he just cleared the air. Shaved head. He just cleared the air saying, look, we're about to make hot entry. In case we have to scream officer down, we need assistance. We don't want anybody talking on the radio. We also don't want the radio blaring when we're walking around a blind corner. We don't want to have to be answering our radio because you're asking a stupid question like, hey, man, where are we going to code today? Or who got the donuts? Or we got free donuts at a PD. Anybody wants to come by? You don't want that shit coming across the air when you're making an entry on a possible armed guy. So that's why he cleared the air. In a lot of places, they'll call it, a code 33, or they'll give it an alert tone. Do different things. But he just, plain talk is clear the air, hold the traffic. Okay, so this guy's got his gun forward. This guy's got his gun forward. You notice the other officer had his gun down. So he doesn't, but because they're not stacked close enough, he can't engage his gun around the person or be able to put down multiple different firearms and lay down some suppressive fire or return rounds because the guy in front with the shield is kind of in his way. Is that bad or good? I think this guy's a little far. I think he should be more up on the guy with the shield's butt so he can shoot around him left or right or be closer. I don't know what their training is. I'm just going by observations on what I see. You notice the shield guy is over here. This guy's got some distance. They're spreading. So if a guy comes out and he shoots at this guy, he's not going to hit this guy. If he shoots at this guy, he won't hit this guy. Is that good or bad? You got a shield. He's not utilizing the shield. He's got the long gun. He's got the small gun. Those are all tactical considerations that you can pick apart and say it's better if you stay together. It's better if you stay behind the shield. It's better if you separate and keep your distance so you don't become an easy target. If they're all three together and the guy shoots over here and he misses this guy, the likelihood of him hitting another guy is higher. If he shoots over here, the likelihood of him hitting this guy is less if they're separated. Pros and cons, tactical considerations.
Sir, show me your hand.
So we got a guy that's fired off multiple rounds and he hasn't shot anybody. And to me, they seem like they shoot him quick, but again, I don't know what the guy's doing. Is he pointing the gun at them? Is he pointing the gun at himself? Did he lay the gun down? Does he have access to the gun? Was the gun on the counter and he reached? All those answers would dictate on whether or not I think this is a good shooting or bad shooting. They say, show me the gun, show me your hand, something, and then they just open up. And I really want you to watch this gun when this guy with the shield starts shooting one hand. I always tell people, two-handed, you always want to shoot two-handed if you can. The shield prevents that, but you watch this gun, and this gun shoots rounds in the ceilings, left, right. I mean, this gun goes everywhere.
Show me your hand. Do it now.
Did you see that?
Watch
that
gun. Do it now.
So I'm going to slow that down because it's just amazing on how that gun flaps. Okay, did you see this officer back here? Good or bad, a lot of times you don't want to separate your team. And the reason you don't want to separate your team is because if this guy runs around here and these officers get tunnel vision and this guy either picks up a gun or moves to the back, this guy is thinking we're going to surround him. The problem is these guys are going to see another guy with a gun come around the corner and he can get shot. Separating your forces when you're clearing a house is very iffy. That's why you want to announce coming in and coming out when you're doing houses so cops know where you're at. When rounds are going off, he's firing an AR, 5.56 rounds, very loud, 3,000 feet per second. You're breaking a lot of sound barriers. He's shooting his pistol. You're all in a building, so it's not muffled. It's not like on a range, so it's even louder. And now you've got your forces separated. And when you try to talk and give commands and communicate, it's hard to hear. A lot of issues went on very quick here, but yeah.
6203, shots fired, RP, shots fired.
You saw real quick the guy, I think, come through that door there. I don't know if I can bring it back and if it shows him coming through that door. I thought I saw him come through that door. Come on, computer. Okay. So now you have another officer over here coming in a different area. They're in high hypervigilance, shooting, just shot a guy with a gun, and now you see a gun coming through a door. That's the problem with separating. Some people will say, well, that was smart. He took away his exit. If the guy came out, he had that exit covered. I wouldn't mind if he stayed back and covered, but when you enter a door or enter a room with a gun from another point that officer's already in, you take the risk of friendly fire.
Austin, get back over here!
Now, that was either this guy or the other guy that yelled at him for going in there and said, get back over here. I don't know if he was talking to someone else or if he was talking to that guy. But I'm thinking he told that guy, get out from underneath us. If this guy moves and we end up shooting, you're in our field of fire.
Sir, put that gun down!
All those rounds fired, and they're still communicating with this guy? All those rounds fired, and this guy still has the ability to put the gun down or pick it up? Man, that seems odd.
Drop the gun! All right, the gun's right here. Do not move! Do not...
One officer saw the gun laying on a counter, I think, or saw it somewhere and said it's over here. So now you've taken away the threat. Does he have a second gun? I don't know. Maybe. If I'm buzzing coconuts. People tell you can't shoot him unless you see a second gun. If he starts reaching in his pocket, he's probably going to get shot again. Is that good or bad? It depends.
Move. Where's the gun at? We are in the surgical, I think the nurse's station.
Okay, at this point, is this shield protecting anybody but the officer with one-handed shooting? This guy's got two-handed shooting. He's in front of the shield. This guy's in front of the shield. Is a shield necessary? Should he abandon the shield? I think so. But, again, there'll be other people. You never drop your shield, and then there'll be other people with green skins. If they just had pepper spray, they could have just pepper sprayed him. Okay, whatever.
I got one white male, multiple gunshot wounds. Where's the gun at, Mike? Right there, right there. All right, take a second and look. Check our backs and make sure.
See, this guy is just sowing a troll. Get back over here. Just take a second look. You better lock yourself down. Mr. Control, Mr. Orders, Mr. Sometimes the people that want to appear so much in control are the ones that are the most out of control.
Make sure nobody's going to shoot us. Sir, officer, right down there.
All right, you get the gist. I'll put a link to the video if you want to watch the whole thing. We just watched 2 minutes and 47 seconds. The whole video is, what, 4:28. So if you want to go watch it, I'll put a link in the description, and we'll end that there.